What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, well, this seems like a pretty good time to refresh the release schedule for Marvel Champions. It's been a little while since we did so, and I'm away this weekend at the European International Championships for Pokemon over in Germany. So, it'd be nice if I wasn't having to sit in my hotel room making videos. So this seems like a good time to go and have another look at the release schedule. And the good news is, things are getting a little bit easier. And that's kind of lovely, ladies and gentlemen. That is kind of lovely. As it stands at the moment, Sinister Motives should just have released, or released pretty recently. I've got my copy. I told you guys, super clearly, this was the box I was most looking forward to since the release of the game as a whole, and I meant it. This one is awesome. But that's been and gone. And at this stage, and I know that's not the case for everybody, but at this stage I am assuming that most people have most things released. I know in the UK it has been a bit of a pain to get hold of War Machine, and I know in the UK it's been a bit of a pain to get hold of the Hood, but I have seen those around. They have gotten out there. These have been for sale in stores, so I know that there are a few territories out there that are missing the odd hero pack here or there, and there might be some still missing the Hood. I can't get into that for every territory for pretty obvious logistical reasons, but generally speaking, everything up to and including Sinister Motives should be out now. I can't make an absolute cast iron guarantee, but they should be out by now. That's the hope. So that basically means that there are exactly 3 hero packs which have been revealed that we are now waiting for. As a side note, I am recording this slightly in advance so I can get these videos ready for when I'm away. Maybe when I'm recording this there is a 4th that's been announced. I don't think there should be, but if there is, I will of course add it in on the end. I won't leave you guys hanging. So, we know by now that what Fantasy Flight Games are trying to do is they're actually trying to now release these as pairs of releases. That's their plan. They're trying to release them in pairs to make things just a little bit easier and a little bit simpler. So the first pair that we are going to be getting in May, that is next month, is going to be the pair of Ironheart and Nova. Now, it is very important to note that although they are being released as pairs, they are still separate releases. So you're not going to go and buy a double pack of Ironheart and Nova, although I'm assuming many of you, like me, will buy them at the same time from the same place, because you need to have them all. But they are going to be separate releases, but it seems like releasing 2 every 2 months is easier than releasing 1 every month. And look, the team are doing such an amazing job making such an amazing game. All I want them to do is just keep releasing stuff, and we will be fine. So Ironheart then, Ironheart looks very, very interesting. What we've got here is basically 3 stages, or 3 versions. So Riri Williams, you begin the game with the first version, and she's got an action that lets you spend a science resource to place a progress counter. And then when you've got 6 progress counters on Ironheart, you can ready her and swap for version 2. And then you got a similar thing going on where you can spend either a science resource or 2 of any type to place a progress counter. And then when you've got 6 progress counters, you ready and swap for version 3. And then in version 3, you can still spend, actually it's 1 resource of any type here, to place a progress counter. But then you can remove 1 progress counter to deal 2 damage to an enemy, which is clearly a little bit nuts. This whole evolution, obviously as Riri goes through the comics, she's evolving her armor. This is brilliant and awesome, and I am absolutely in love with this. I love how they keep, and by they I mean the designers, I love how they keep doing things that are a little bit different and a little bit weird, and I love it. And then of course you've got cards like Photon Beam that deals 4 damage and places a progress counter, or Stroke of Genius, a resource card that places a progress counter and draws a card. Makes perfect sense, ladies and gentlemen. Makes perfect sense. Out of the box, Riri comes in as a leadership character, and you've got minions coming in like Cloud9 and Falcon or Patriot, which is kind of cool. And do remember that nowadays these hero packs come through with one random obscure Marvel villain as a modular encounter set to be put into any encounter you like. And I will be. Here we got Zax, and I love Zax, but every time I'm playing with Riri Williams, I don't care what I'm playing, I'm putting Zax in, because it looks fun, ladies and gentlemen. It looks fun. As for Nova releasing at the same time, what we've got here is something, honestly, fairly different. Sam Alexander in Alter Ego lets you spend a resource of any type to search your deck and discard power for Supernova, add it to your hand, and if you spent an any type resource, you get to put it in play instead, which is kind of ridiculous. And then every time you use one of Nova's basic powers, and 1 fort, 1 attack, 2 defense is pretty low, you get to ready Supernova Helmet. Supernova Helmet, if you're wondering, gives Nova the aerial trait, and you can exhaust it to generate an any type resource, which is clearly a little bit nuts. And then any type resources really are a theme going through Nova. Lightspeed Flight doubles the number of any type resources generated while paying for this card, i.e. it becomes a 1-cost card, and then removes 3 threat from a scheme, which is pretty gosh darn good. Or Pot Shot, which is the same thing but deals 4 damage to an enemy, which is kind of awesome. You've got Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, coming in as your signature ally here, so nice to see her making a comeback. And we come through out of the box as an aggression character. So we've got things like the Locust, which adds an aggression event from your discard pile to your hand, which is quite nice. Pitchback, a 1-cost event that deals 4 damage to an enemy after a hero attacks. So yeah, these look kind of fun. And if you're wondering what we're getting in terms of an obscure villain coming in as a modular encounter set, it's Armadillo! Smooth on the inside, crunchy on the outside. I love this. I love that they're bringing through these really kind of obscure villains. I am willing to bet that if you're not an obsessive comic book nerd like me, I think there are a bunch of people out there, and I'm sorry if this sounds mean, if it does, don't hate me, but I'm willing to bet a lot of people out there did not know who Armadillo was. But because Armadillo's kind of an obscure, C-tier villain that just pops up every so often. It's not generally the focus of these big, impressive arcs. Although we have had random villains in the past do that, which is a little bit weird. And I love that the designers are doing this. It is awesome. So that's what we get in May, and that's pretty ridiculous. But then we get Spider-Ham. I love Spider-Ham. This was actually revealed on April Fool's Day. And there was a question as to whether this was a joke or not. It's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely real. Now, it is important to note we don't actually have a release date for Spider-Ham yet. We've not been given a release date. We have been given a release window of summer. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the best we've got. I would imagine it's coming for a July release. Again, this is not confirmed, this is me making guesses, but July release seems to make sense, because essentially, we got 2 coming in May, and I know they've said they want to start releasing them in pairs to make things easier. It's not easier if they start releasing 2 every month. So, in theory, I would imagine what's going on. We know we're getting Ironheart and Nova in May, so it would then make sense that we would go and get Spider-Ham coming in July. No guarantee, but that does seem to make sense. And Spider-Ham is silly, and I mean that as a compliment. So Peni Parker's got a ridiculous recovery of 5, and after you make a basic recovery, you place a toon counter on him. And then Spider-Ham's got pretty terrible stats of 2-1-1, but each toon counter on Spider-Ham can be spent as if it were an any type resource. And after Spider-Ham takes any amount of damage, you place 1 toon counter on him. But then this leads to some absolutely ridiculous combos. Ham it up for 0 cost, you remove 1 threat from a scheme for each toon counter on Spider-Ham, so that could let you completely remove all of the threat without spending any resources. Hogwash removes a toon counter from Spider-Ham, and you loudly read the flavor text. Choose to either deal 5 damage to a minion, or remove 5 threat from a side scheme. And sure, it's minion not villain, and sure, it's side scheme not main scheme, but that's ridiculous for 1 cost. You'll notice also, there are some silly things going on. I Don't Think So asks you to read in a funny voice, which I kind of enjoy. Petulant Pig makes you stick your tongue out. But these are good cards. Cartoon Physics makes you wiggle your body. I like this, ladies and gentlemen. These are fun. The signature ally, if you're wondering, is Captain Americat, who I don't like as much as Spider-Ham, I'm going to be honest with you. So this looks like a really fun one, and some of the cards we've seen are crazy powerful. Out of the box, we are talking about a Justice character, and you've got allies coming in like Lady Spider and Pravita Prabhakar, the Indian Spider-Man, which are brilliant, obscure, more obscure Web Warriors, which I am absolutely overjoyed about. But one of the things I'm most looking forward to about this set is the fact that we are getting the Inheritors as an encounter set. And the encounter set is just the 8 Inheritors that all then get shuffled in and you have to fight them all, and I love it. And they all kind of play off each other. So, Bora gives each Inheritor minion an acceleration token, and then if a Web Warrior character is in play, you place a threat on the main scheme, whereas Deimos gives each Inheritor minion Stalwart, and when revealed, if a Web Warrior character is in play, you stun a character you control. And I did say this at the time, if you're playing a non-Web Warrior character, you can still play against the Inheritors. It's just not as fun. Because, and don't get me wrong, they're still pretty good, but it's not giving you quite the same level of, challenge. It looks challenging. It looks pretty gosh darn difficult. So I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be playing these Inheritors a lot, but I think this is one of the ones I'm going to save for when I'm using Web Warrior characters for fairly obvious reasons. And as it stands at the moment, that's what we've got. That's what's coming up in Marvel Champions. No, wait, false alarm. No, it's not. You see, I recorded this video to upload while I was at the European International Championships doing some commentary for Pokemon, having a lovely time, not worrying about work. And I flew to Germany and I landed on the Thursday. And on the Thursday, what would be revealed but SP//DR, or Spider, as I think it's actually said. Yeah, Peni Parker. So we need to quickly talk about this one. Now, following through what we've said in this video, it is pretty important to note this is probably a July release, though that has not been confirmed. Essentially, what we've got is 2 May releases, and then I'm imagining 2 July releases, because like I've said, I don't think we're getting more products, it just seems like we're getting 2 every 2 months rather than 1 every month. And shockingly enough, this looks like a very, very good pack. Do obviously, like with all of these, go and check out the video. I've done a full video about the reveal of all of these. This is more just a quick, here's what's coming video. If you want the detail on all of them and everything we know, go and check out those individual videos. But what we've got here is Peni Parker, who, when you're setting up, you put SP//DR suit into play, inactive side face up. And you've got a maintenance alter ego action that lets you exhaust that suit and draw 2 cards, which sounds kind of nice. But then what you can do is when you flip to hero mode, you also flip the spider suit. So Peni basically turns into your pilot, and when you flip to this side, you flip spider suit to its active side, attach it to your spider suit, moving all counters on this card, all cards attached to this card to the spider suit. And then the spider suit has sync ratio that lets you exhaust an interface upgrade you control to generate the resources. You have 14 hit points incidentally, which is very, very high. So what we end up with is a bunch of interface cards. So you've got things like Host Spider, where you exhaust it to ready the spider suit, but you've also got an any type resource. So what you do with the interface there is you have them, and you can either exhaust them to use the skill on them, i.e. in this case ready the spider suit, or you can exhaust them to gain resources, because you've got a hand size of 3. And hand size of 3 is tiny. And the way that's mitigated is having these interface cards that you basically exhaust, and you can either use a skill or generate the resources. So Psychic Link has a science resource, and you can exhaust it when you make a basic thwart to get +2 thwart. Speed Metal Ally has a physical resource that gives you +2 defense when you defend, and Web Fluid Compressor has an energy resource that when you make a basic attack, you exhaust it to get +2 attack, which honestly makes perfect sense. I do also have to give a massive shout out to Ejection Protocol, a phenomenal card here that lets you exhaust all your interface upgrades, put your hit points to 6, give yourself a tough status and flip to Alter Ego, which is basically a perfect rendition of ejecting from a mech in a TCG. Love it. Absolutely love it. Plus, we've got really cool allies coming around like Daredevil and Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Otto Octavius, which makes me very excited. And then we've got the encounter set which is coming with that, which is Peni Parker's Sinister Six, including Sandman, Bombshell, Hobgoblin, and Iron Spider. So yeah, this is another one that looks very cool. Okay, let's get back to the original outro, now that we've actually updated to include all the revealed hero packs. All these hero packs look fun, and I just can't wait to get to the table with them. It's kind of nicer nowadays. Last time I did the release schedule, we had a bunch of stuff coming up. There was a big box, and there was lots of things missing from different territories. Nowadays, it seems to have calmed down a bit, and now we've just got a few hero packs coming, and that's a little bit easier to deal with. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you guys. Which of these are you looking forward to the most? Which of these are day one pickups? Which of these, if any, are you going to be skipping and making me sad? Let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Weiss. That's where we talk about a whole bunch of card games like Marvel Champions and a bunch of others. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.